Basketball U. I'm back with another training with one of my favorite players to be with, Spencer. Spencer is a great kid, hard worker, listens very well, and just wants to be better, right? Just like everybody else. But you might have seen Spencer here on Basketball U doing a few things for us. A little dribbling, a little shooting, a little footwork, just some clips right there just to show you what he's been doing. And it's been some things that we've been working on too over the years. I believe this is year 3 with Spencer, and really just working on the mentality of continuing to be confident in the work, right? He's working his tail off day in and day out to be one of the best players that he can be, not only for himself, but for his team. And one thing that we always talk about is the different steps to progression. Because he's not going to be a taller player, a phenomenally athletic player. You know I like to make up words, and I think that's one of them that I'm working on right now, phenomenally. He is going to give you every ounce of what he can for what he works towards. And he is one of those guys that when they say runs through a wall for you, he will definitely do that. And one thing that he's always been noted for is his shooting. But now we've taken it to another level where he's extended his range, but also he knows how to get the basketball up over defenders opposed to just shooting when he's open. And so that's still something we're working on too, as he has gotten better at it. But I don't want him to just be better at it. I want him to be good and then hopefully get it to the above average stage, and then he can take it to that great stage, because at some point in time, all my players have to move on, and they will with their continued work as they continue to work. So just our normal warm-up that we go through that you see here, and we go through our layups just to get that feel. Sometimes you miss them, sometimes you make them, but knowing that it's a warm-up, it's just getting you mentally flowing with the different movements, the different steps, the footwork, and just getting you ready to work out. I don't like to just jump right into the workout and just start going. It's hard because there's a lot of details sometimes, and I don't talk a lot in the workout all the time. I will stop them to correct mistakes, but a lot of the time I let them work diligently through figuring out through their own mistakes, because ultimately in the game, that's who has to figure it out. Coach or whatever won't be there to tell you your shot is flat, your shot is short, your shot is left, your shot is right. You get the point, right? And so ideally, it's really just about being in condition. It's about mentally being in shape, whether it's with being in game and mentally prepared for what's coming, or just within yourself, right? And another thing that a lot of people won't talk about with the conditioning aspect is the breathing portion. And I think he learned that this past year over our conditioning period with our basketball team. And that piece is important too, because as I tell you guys, as I tell him, being in the best shape is really your best advantage. You're not going to be able to make up for some of the things that people have, those God-given talents that people say, but there are things that you can control, and those things that you can control will help you compete equally with those that are more talented. The breathing aspect, there's no form or drill for it. It's just about being mindful about it. And there are ways to work on your breathing. What I'm saying is I don't take time to do that with Spencer. Just we don't have enough time to do that. But I definitely do give him things on the side to work on, and he has taken everything that I've given him in consideration, and he has attempted to work on it, which has made him who he is today as a player. As much as you guys want me to give you all of the crazy sounds and skeet marks and pound dribbles and swish sounds of a training like on the gram, that's not what training always is, right? That's more of a workout. And yeah, sometimes you do need that cardio and that kind of jumping from one thing to the next, but sometimes you just need to focus on one skill or one subject matter for whatever that is that day for that athlete. Sometimes we get caught up in trying to do everything for the athlete, and who doesn't want to get better at everything? But sometimes we can't consume it all to really get better at all those things. So again, I explain that to Spencer because he is a person who wants to get better at everything. And I just can't do that with what he needs to get good at to be more effective for his team, right? Because he's a shooter, correct? And more than likely what happens to shooters when people finally scout them? They deny them. They make sure they get the ball out of their hand. They're within distance most of the times of when they catch the ball, so they sprint at them and they run them off the line. So all these different things that he's going to encounter, even though he's having success right now in the summer, it's going to hurt him if he doesn't understand how to put the ball on the floor, how to shot fake, get one dribble off, which we have worked on and just have it in other clips, and just things that are going to make him effective in a more simplistic way. Right? I don't want to get too far into what else he can do if he can't do the basic things. And I'm really taking it back to the basics because we just forget about the fundamentals. And it's not that he can't do Euro steps and spins and pullback dribbles and all these different things. But again, the style of play for who he plays for is not going to allow that much time for that, right? There's not a whole lot of isolation. And so it's really just a catch and go type system. And again, it's about what is going to make him successful in the season now based on him preparing for the season because the AAU is coming to an end. So as you watch us train, again, we'll just work in separation. And a couple key things that you may need to know that I'm telling him that you can't hear because I'm not mic'd up on this particular part is when he is trying to create space, it's not a dribble to the player and a quick bump. That's not going to create space for someone who is under 6 feet. And so what you have to understand is you have to get into the player and you have to kind of control that power, that aspect of the person kind of guarding you, where it seems like they are really doing a good job. And then you will create the separation based on when you're ready to separate. And you can do that with separating that foot, putting that foot forward and pushing back. You can lean that body into them a little bit more, kind of put your body weight on them so they have to kind of hold you up in a way. And then when you release, it kind of takes their body weight away. I mean, that's the kind of the most simplest way I can break it down to you without like having the circles and the dots and the arrows pointing like at knees and ankles and arms because we didn't get that close up. So as you can see here, he's creating space on me. The pad just represents like a body on him. I always tell him don't let one arm stop you, go through contact. So you'll see him do that as well. You'll see a couple little spin backs here and there. Sometimes we get that back foot and we're not able to jump and block the shot. So you get just enough time to spin, create that separation, and you can get that ball up and over that defender. Little things playing off of two, really just getting him to understand, again, how to hold his ground, how strong he actually is, and what he basically does every day is helping him become stronger, so he needs to use that strength. Basketball U, once again, I appreciate you coming to all my videos and checking out what I'm doing. As I told you, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of content. It's going to be training. It's going to be vlogging. It's going to be the new Twitch that I'm putting up, which we will promote here. If not on this episode, we will on the next. And it's really time to gear up on just showing you everything that I'm doing here and telling the story of basketball with someone's basketball story. And because I'm coming across so many different people, I kind of want you to follow their journey. Yeah, so stay tuned in as we will continue to follow myself, and we will start keeping tabs on all the rest of these people. And who knows, man, I might even start an AAU team and go from there. And so we'll see what happens. But until then, Basketball U, I appreciate you. Remember, you can send in your clips of you training, some game film. I'm more than willing to look at it, break it down for you. And if you want everybody to see it, we can break it down live right here on Basketball U, or I can even figure out how to put your video up on Twitch, and we can get a community to talk about how to make you better. I think the more people with more opinions, the better, because we can analyze it and take the negatives out of your game and take all the positives from the people and add to your game. So let's build, and remember, someone's always working. Are you?